their truths. When I speak about RIGGY GOON, I'm talking about somebody I know, somebody I have worked with, somebody I have sat in meetings with as he planned Goonism in this country. Let us remind Gachagua that he was not removed from office because of President William Ruto. He was impeached by the elected representatives of the Kenyan people in the National Assembly, tried by the Senate, and removed from office after the Senate upheld 5 grounds against him, including gross violations of the Constitution and undermining the President and the Cabinet. That is his record. So Rigathi cannot be the person lecturing us today, purporting to be giving a scorecard of what we have done. As we have said, Kenyans will judge this administration at the end of next year, this term, next year, in August. And yesterday, we detailed to the... And if we begin with the irony of all this, Mr. Gachagua is attempting to take stock of the 4 years of the Ruto administration, an administration that he served for a record 2 years of those 4 years. He sat in cabinet, he sat in National Security Council meetings, and he defended this government, its policies and its record, and even defended that unfortunate act in Embakasi when he attempted to assassinate the former Prime Minister, the late Honorable Raila Odinga. You will all recall all the acts of Goonism perpetuated by under Rigathi and directed by him would always be planned by him when President William Ruto was outside the country. That is what he did that day he attempted to assassinate the former Prime Minister. That is what he did when he directed goons under the command of 2 members of parliament from Embakasi who are working with him today. The same members of parliament who are under investigations for deaths in all Kalau that Rigathi turned around to accuse other people of. Those goons that attacked the Kenyatta farm in Ruiru. A former deputy president who sat in the National Security Council knows the difference between intelligence, evidence, hearsay, and political gossip. What Gachagua is doing today is nothing but political gossip. National security cannot become a prop for a politician searching for relevance. Gachagua being no exception. He should not use our national security as a prop to seek political relevance. Neither should the pain of bereaved families be converted into campaign material. Correct. We have all listened in utter shock as Honorable Gachagua spoke about the late former Prime Minister, the late Ogola, and as my colleague has said, the same Ogola Rigathi opposed to be appointed as CDF simply because he hailed from the Luo community. Yes. Rigathi speaks about the unfortunate death of the former Prime Minister, Baba Raila Odinga, with no regard to the feelings of his family. Raila Odinga would not have traveled with the doctors he's traveled with from Kenya without the consent and approval of his immediate family. We want to plead with Gachagua to let those who have left before us to rest in peace and have the empathy to think about the children and the families of those who have left us, including those of the late Johanna Ngeno, who had very young children and a young widow who is at pain. You will remember Johanna Ngeno's widow and his immediate family learned about the unfortunate passing on of Mheshimiwa Johanna Ngeno from a public rally by Gachagua in Nyahururu, even before they formally got news of the accident that befell a husband, a father, a brother, and a son to an elderly mother. Rigathi, I have said before, you're a black man with a very dark soul and dark heart. Please spare bereaved and mourning families the pain of having to relive their losses as you play your cheap politics.